So given all of this positive performance for some of the European defense names in recent times, I'm wondering whether we have reached peak. Have we priced in all of the positive stories and from now on is just, day-to-day business, basically?
That's a great question. I think I should be careful answering that because obviously it's very difficult to predict the future. But it's a question that we've been getting for at least 12 months now, and since the questions became to come, growth has still continued. Looking at the increase that is expected for the European governments to keep increasing their budget for spending. I think it's hard to believe that we are at peak yet. I think there's still a considerable amount of potential for this whole sector in the next, probably even 5 to 10 years. But again, it's obviously very difficult to predict those markets.
And of course, we talk a lot about the big companies, BAE Systems, Rheinmetall, but I'm wondering what is happening when it comes to smaller firms in this space. In terms of mid-cap performance, what are you seeing there?
Actually, I think what we're seeing is that a lot of these firms have not been covered well in, let's say, the last 5 to 10 years because there was little focus on the defense sector as a whole. Now, when things started moving, obviously the bigger names are the first companies that people start looking at. And I think what we're seeing now is sort of, the focus is now increasing also to the smaller names. And some of these smaller names, really started picking up. Rank, a German company, if you look over the last, I think 6 to 8 months, it's basically tripled in size. So yes, there is definitely a lot more interest also for the smaller companies, and I think there is a lot of potential there too.
So that leads me to my next question. What sort of areas do you think would actually be potentially subject to more deal making in the defense sector going forward?
Well, I think I'm very bullish on basically the whole sector. I think there's been a lot of talk lately, especially in Europe, on how we maybe should focus just on European defense companies, keeping it sort of close to home, so to say. But I think looking at the whole sector, there is so many diverse companies also in other regions of the world, not only the US, but also Korea. So I think from an investment perspective, I would always advocate for diversification. And in this case, I think it's really important to keep looking at sort of your global diversification, not just diversification from a specific company perspective, but also from being diversified geographically.
Sorry. Are you suggesting that we could see deals happening between European-based companies and companies outside the region?
Yeah, I think that's a good possibility because there is definitely some skills or systems that we do not have in Europe and that we do need to look at the US or Asia for. So it makes a lot of sense to expect some deals across regions. Yes.